you need to roll over the flap and slide it on in. Make sure the board is straight. And then you can roll over the top, tape down the back, and put your label on. You know, the neat thing about 4 mil and full back is this is really stiff. I mean, this is going to stand up in your box. You can practically manhandle it. This will really withstand the ages. Now, the next step up would be a top loader, but you're going to be paying a lot more money for those. And a big mistake I see with top loaders is people using POLYBAGS to load a top loader, which is ridiculous because you're using the lowest quality bag for the highest quality over-the-counter, you know, loader that you can get. So what's the purpose? Plus the POLYBAGS kind of wrinkle up around your comic when people try to put them in a top loader. Now the next level up from the top loader is going to be the slab, like is going to be slab, like Cgc Slab. Now, if you think your comic is worth like 50 bucks plus, or if it's an issue number 1, you might want to send it off to get it slabbed. Now, the thing with slabbed is once you break that seal, you're going to have to send it back and pay another fee if you want to have it re-slabbed. So if you're collecting strictly for a collector's motivation to maintain the integrity of the comic and its highest possible value, you might want to slab it. If you're more of a collector that buys and sells and you want to look at the inside from time to time, do not get it slabbed. On average, it costs about 35 bucks a comic to get it slabbed. Now, of course, if you're dealing with really early issues or number 1s that are certainly going to evaluate themselves in time, then by all means get it slabbed. Even a comic like this might be worth getting slabbed. It has color integrity, it's pretty tight, and it's a golden age comic. However, one of the main things that CGC looks at is the quality of the internal pages. That's why often a slab comic will say white pages, off-white pages, because most of the pages of my Classics Illustrated collection are sort of yellow or browning. I'm not really going to send them off to get slabbed because, you know, CGC's, it seems like their modus operandi is to grade those kind of comics at a much lower grade. If it's a really early one, like 1 through 3, sure, it doesn't really matter that much if it's yellow or browning. It's still going to be worth a lot of money. Anyway, I hope this tutorial has been helpful for you regarding the 4 mil Mylar. Again, POLYBAGS are dead. As soon as you can afford Mylar, throw out your POLYBAGS. If you have just reader copies that are totally junk condition, it doesn't even really matter. Don't even bother with POLYBAGS. POLYBAGS are just a placeholder until you can afford Mylar. It's not even that expensive. I bought these from BCW, about 15 bucks a pack for 25 bags of 4 mil Mylar. So here's the completion of the bagging in 4 mil Mylar in the magazine size box. This is a short box and it can hold 100 comics in 4 mil Mylar in full back boards, and you can see it really holds up nice. It keeps the comics really uniform, keeps them bright and glossy. These are all Classics Illustrated original editions. And last but not least, because I made mention of a CGC comic, I have a slabbed Secrets of Haunted House, which is a DC horror comics. This is number 1. Slabbed comic is basically sealed in this airtight container, and if you break the corners on the seals, you'll know it's been opened. So once you get a comic slab, you have to pretty much keep it that way, because once you break the seals, again, you wasted the money you had it slabbed in. And it's pretty cool. They give their grade. This is an 8.5, and they usually note about the pages. This comic has white pages, so it's a pretty nice book. You know, this comic is probably worth slabbing, but borderline, because again, it'll cost like 35 bucks plus to slab a comic. So you have to really look at your comic and say, is it worth at least that much? And what are the chances the price is going to go up? If it's a good quality comic or a real rare issue, it may be worth your while. The critics say that slabbing a comic kind of defeats the purpose of a comic, because you can't even read it or look at it once it's slabbed. So it's really strictly only for hardcore collectors or people that are more into preservation for appreciation of the book. Okay, I wanted to mention something about Cgc Slabs. It's not foolproof. If you keep your comic in the sun, or if it's exposed to extreme changes in temperature, it can still get damaged. Also, I mentioned previously that Mylar bags will protect against mildew. That's not really true. It will help to prevent mildew a little bit, but mildew is basically very destructive and can get inside even Mylar if the conditions are ripe for mildew. Mildew is really bad because it kind of is a moisture that can really attack from inside something. And it seems like this could probably ward off mildew, but I bet you if you had the right conditions, even a CGC is not exempt from that. For example, if you stuck this in freezing conditions and then pulled it out real quick and put it in the sun, I really wonder if it would hold up. It might. It certainly looks sharp, and for your top of the line comics, you might want to consider getting them slabbed.